Welcome to Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Find tickets to Commanders games and more. SeatGeek. Live from the sidelines of MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, is your host, Brian Colbert Jr., alongside Super Bowl champion Brian Mitchell and Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss.
Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. Our division matchup number 2 of the season is on deck today from out here at MetLife Stadium, and the DJ jamming right now. Your Washington Commanders are geared up for a Week 9 NFC East division game against the New York Giants. These live views are brought to you by Verizon, the network Commanders rely on. You are seeing our special teams out there right now getting ready for a big NFC East matchup. Welcoming in Brian Colbert Jr. here with Brian Mitchell and Santana Moss.
Santana Moss.
Fellas, you know we cold, but you know who's not cold? Our Washington Commanders. They are on a roll, fellas, and now we are back on the road. We ain't been on the road in a minute. How are you guys feeling right now coming off of such a huge game?
Well, I'm feeling excited. You know, this whole year has been great, but just like the team, I'm sure they're thinking they probably put the game last week behind them, and they're looking forward to the Giants. And this is a division game where you want to make sure you get that victory. I mean, it's tough up here all the time, but I believe this team is on a different journey this year, and they're not going to be swayed by what happens here normally.
I keep saying this. I'm speechless. You know, one of the things that I keep seeing the play over and over and over, and every time I turn on whether it's my TV at home or have my Instagram on, you're just seeing or hearing something about this team, which is good. You know, it's always good. But I think one of the things as players, we know how to tune that stuff out and get back to business. So I'm looking forward to these guys tuning everything out from last week and coming out here and handling business today.
And fellas, a lot to get into today. We just heard of our inactives. Brian Robinson Jr. will be inactive today. We're not going to talk about that right now. We'll get into it a little later in the show. Before we start anything, fellas, we number 1 in the NFC East, baby. So when you number 1 in the NFC East, you make graphics that show off you being in the NFC East. So let's look at these NFC East standings right now. The Eagles are second with the Cowboys at 3-4 and the Giants at 2-6. Now that we've taken a look around the East, let's take a deeper dive in today's matchup. It's time for Gimme 5, presented by UA Local Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. Now, these Gimme 5 is B-Mitch right here. B-Mitch love to give these lists. B-Mitch, your first on the Gimme 5 is you want to see more consistent run pressure up front.
Well, I want to see that, especially when I'm talking about both sides of the ball for me when you look at it. But defensively, you want to see guys leading the way in the middle. Right now, Deron Payne has been playing unbelievable. And also, you get our guy, Johnny Newton has come in.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the kid is playing some very, very good football. When you can have that pressure in the middle, you stop other teams from wanting to run the ball. And then all of a sudden you get that pressure up the middle, you make quarterbacks hold on to it, and the guys come around the edge and get those sacks. So if they can keep doing that, there's going to be some great things happening.
And B-Mitch, being the teammate that you are, you allow Santana Moss to jump on this list with you. Now, Tana, you are talking about the secondary playing more together.
Yeah, one of the things to me is that I wanted to point out that I'm not saying they need to play more together. I'm saying that these guys have been playing together well, and I think it's been impressive to everybody. I mean, you got to think about it. You know, that Giant game in week 2, it seemed like we couldn't stop Neighbors. And then it was a week later we went and seen Burrow. But since then, this secondary has climbed themselves back into the thick of things. They're rated right now, the top 10, I think number 6 in passes, you know, deflecting, I guess you can say, you know, defending passing. So I think they're doing a tremendous job in just turning things around and going out there and playing sound football.
And B-Mitch, that's one of the things that we were kind of questioning what this secondary was going to look like. A lot of fans were looking to bring somebody in, but we didn't do that. Talk about your secondary a little bit.
I think when you look at the fact that they're getting good coaching, I think that's the whole thing about it. They changed the whole thing up, and they had to learn something for a little bit. And Joe Whitt wants it a certain way. You know, he and Jason Simmons, they want things done a certain way, and now these guys are figuring that out, and you can see they're playing faster. They're not out there right now, you know, playing slow and thinking. When you're thinking on the football field, you're losing. They're reacting because now they can go full speed. They understand what the job is.
And B-Mitch, for your third key, we have a consistent running game. Now, I just mentioned Brian Robinson Jr. will not be playing today. We are looking at Austin Eckler right now. Big game for him today.
Big game for Austin. You know, I think also you got every running back that get a chance today. You're a professional athlete. And I think the thing about it is you get your chance by stepping up. And I think Brian is not there today, and they understand what Brian can do. But other guys are chomping at the bit to get some excitement out there. And I truly believe that you're going to see guys out there that are going to go for it. Austin Eckler is a pro.
Yeah.
He understands what's happening at this level. The guy is always prepared. So I'm expecting him to go out there and have a good day.
And Tim, this isn't the first time we've seen us without Brian Robinson Jr. We have seen Cliff Kingsbury get very creative with this run game. How do you feel we fared today?
I think we fare off well. I think you have a guy, Matt Nichols, who's ready to, chop it at the bits again. He had his little stint and he kind of been quiet lately, but I think now having his opportunity. And then also you have a guy in Chris Rodriguez. Not sure if he's going to be probably brought up, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have another back on the sideline. Yeah. He's that guy, too, that we can use like a B-Rob. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that get those tough yardage. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys go out there and perform today.
And Tanner, one of your other keys was the passing game, taking big strides. The way Jayden Daniels has built chemistry with all of these receivers. Talk about that.
It was not long ago, man. We were sitting around talking about getting Terry involved. I guarantee you we're not saying that no more. You know what I mean? I think after that Cincinnati game, Jayden found chemistry and say, oh, you know what, I got something here with this old reliable 1-7. And that's what you've been seeing week in and week out. Those guys are growing each and every week. And that's one of the things that Terry has been saying from the start, man. You give me a chance to go out there and get a ball, put it up there. I'm going to come down with it. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from those guys. You add in, Zach Ertz. You add in, the other guys from the running backs from the outfield, Noah Brown. All those guys collectively are going out there playing well.
And Bemis, that goes to your last and fifth point. Jayden Daniels just keeps getting better and better and better.
I've been hearing about Jayden Daniels before he got here. My best friend lives not far from LSU, and he talked about how good this kid was and how he gets better and better as the things go on. We watched him in the first game. We were like, wow, this kid is going to be special. And now we've seen him. And the thing what I love so much is that he improves next week. He doesn't wait. He doesn't say he's not satisfied with anything. Kind of like Michael Jordan. Yeah. Jordan was the best, but he was always working on something. Jayden is the same type of guy. And I think if he continues going out there and leading the way, this team is going to follow him. Yeah. You get a young guy that comes in and works that hard. Everybody else have to follow suit, and I've been impressed, beyond impressed.
And you gotta love it. His support system right next to his mom jamming right here. Now we're gonna hear from Jayden Daniels because, fellas, this is his first time playing a team twice, and it just happens to be an NFC East opponent. Let's hear from what Jayden Daniels learned from that first game against the New York Giants.
100%. That's kind of what you go back and you just look at how much you've grown and how they kind of played me that first time. And, you got to go out there and expect the unexpected. They might switch up a whole different look and try to defend us a different way, so you got to be ready for it. But, you just go back and still get a basis of, this is what they like to do. This is kind of what they did in the back end with the front. Obviously, they got tremendous players that we gotta worry about. So it'll be a fun matchup.
Here's a look at the last time the Commanders matched up with the Giants. It's time for Money Matchup, brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, where trust matters. Now, let's take a look at the numbers from Week 2. The Commanders' offense put up over 450 yards, but rookie wide receiver Malik Neighbors had himself a day with 127 yards, and that was the game, fellas. Our kicker, Austin Siebert, sealed the win with his 7th field goal of the day. Now, fellas, let's talk about this defense a little bit because, again, we're a whole nother team since Week 2. We saw those numbers. Now, they were fair, but however, we are much dominant this time around.
We're much better. And I think the thing is, it starts off with up front. Yeah. We know, you look at the jerseys in the stands, you got receivers, you have quarterbacks, running backs, but you know where it starts? The big boys. Yeah. And the big boys, like Doc Walker always say, smell like bacon. Those guys right there that go out there, if they could get that pressure up the middle, Johnny Newton has been doing it, Deron Payne has been doing it, Dorrance Armstrong coming off the edge. You get Bobby Wagner and Louisville running around. If those guys can play the way that they want to play, then all of a sudden you give a quarterback a little time to throw the ball, he's not going to be able to wait for Neighbors all day. Yeah. And you see everything works into your favor on the defensive side.
And B, you mentioned the big guys that smell like bacon. He don't smell like bacon, but he is a big guy.
What have I walked into?
I got to get the transitions going. Welcome again. Me too, I think all of us did. Welcome again, London Fletcher, to the building, the captain. Whether we are talking about this defense, and I asked these fellas right here, a lot different team from when we saw the Giants in Week 2. Talk about that. We're focusing on the defensive end.
Yeah, when you look at where we were in Week 2 as opposed to where we are defensively, first and foremost, it starts with our ability to get pressure on the quarterback. Mm-hmm. That defensive front has really taken over games. I think Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louisville, they're playing as good as any linebackers in the National Football League. I think they're more connected on the back end from a coverage standpoint. Last week, it was just a beauty for me to watch Bobby Wagner orchestrate that defense because the Bears were coming out in a bunch of different empty formations. So we would have our check to empty formation, might be a pressure, might be something else. And then the Bears would shift back to another formation back in the backfield, and Bobby getting us back to a new defense. And for him to execute that flawlessly, not have any busted coverage on the back end, that goes a long way in showing you what type of guys we have on this defense.
London, we haven't seen anything like this before. All these different pieces, all these guys on one-year deals, all this new coaching staff, but the chemistry here has been outstanding. That has to go to Joe Witt Jr., Ryan, what he's done with this defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about over-communicating. I think one thing they do a great job is holding everybody accountable.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll have coaches not hold guys accountable or gloss over stuff, especially when you have wins. You gloss over something that, it didn't hurt us in this ball game. Yeah. But you can tell they're holding guys accountable and really focusing on the attention to details. And, he talks about in his press conference about, hey, we got to be tighter in this area. We got to be better in this area. And, we won the game, but there's still areas we need to continue to improve on.
I ask you this question, London. When you going against a team for the second time, as a defense, what would you try to change up stuff, or you go with what you do best?
Well, I think, obviously, I saw them working a lot on some things, just coming up, being able to tackle the hitch route. If you remember in that first game, Neighbors made a lot of plays, catching the hitches, and we missed tackles on him after the catch. So tackling is going to be a big factor, especially if the Giants are able to run the football like they've been able to run the football lately. You're going to be in a lot of one-on-one situations from a tackling standpoint on the perimeter as corners, so those guys have to do a great job of making tackles.
London, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things about the offensive-minded staff, they know that you were susceptible to something, so they want to show you that look again and try to give you the banana in the tailpipe for you to fall for it and give you something else. How do you guys prepare yourself to not really, be too overwhelmed by what they did the first time and not get fooled for the second time around?
Well, you have to always read your keys, and I can't assume, hey, he's running a hitch because now you got to hitch and go.
Yeah.
So when you're making that play, you have to ensure you're looking at your man first and foremost if it's a hitch, or being extremely disciplined. A lot of times they'll give you unscouted looks in every ball game, but if you read your keys, play your responsibility, you'll be in position to make plays against stuff that you haven't seen.
Gotcha. And we talked about this before you got on. Malik Neighbors, 127 yards last time we played him. How can our secondary adjust? Because our secondaries looked really good, 6th in the NFL in passing defense. How can we get up big against a tough guy like Malik Neighbors?
Well, we're better from a personnel standpoint. We're better. I think guys have more confidence. You got Mikey Sanders still playing outside more. He was a nickel. He's playing inside the first time they played. Yeah. Also, a lot of times familiarity breeds success. You've seen him one time. You understand his explosiveness and what he brings to the table. But you don't fall asleep on the other guys as well. So I think the Giants as a receiving core, those guys have been better too. The others have Slayton's played better. Wandale Robinson, he's a guy who can make plays. So you have to respect him as a receiving core in general.
Hey, London, we always appreciate you joining the show. You was a little late today, but it's okay.
I was late
with the goodie. You was a little late, but it's okay.
Hey.
First things happen.
Barry told me 12:13.
We gonna blame
I was over here at 12:09.
We gonna blame our producer, but London, thank you so much for joining us. Actually, we're gonna hit the break now, but when we come back, we'll have more of our amazing Commanders radio broadcast crew pulling up. Brand Weinstein and Logan Paulson will join us to talk all things offense and what they expect to see from JD5 today against the Giants. And later in the show, we're sharing a list of some players we expect to have a giant game out in New York. We're just getting started here on Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go nowhere.
I have the coffee. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. Yeah, blow on that for a little bit. Not here. So on SeatGeek, what is this deal score?
It grades seats to show whether a deal is amazing, great, good, not so good, bad, or awful based on your budget.
What a coincidence. That's how I classify my relatives.
Oh, really?
The only amazing is my cat, Walter. Let me show you some pictures.
Hold on. New Bet365 customers get how much? That can't be right.
It's true. Join Bet365 today and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5. You could spend them on bets like the spread, run line, totals, and player props.
Well, there you have it. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Tacoma has a dominant legacy as America's favorite small pickup for almost 2 decades. Known for reliability and capability. Now buy a Tacoma with low 4.99 APR or lease an SR for $279 a month.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
VetTix secures unused event tickets to give back to the military and veteran community. The mission? To strengthen family bonds, build lifelong memories, and encourage service members and vets to stay engaged in their community. Giving out over 15 million tickets since 2008, VetTix continues to give something to those who gave. To find out how you can help give once-in-a-lifetime experiences to our veterans, service members, and their families, visit vettix.org today.
It was like the entire team at Northwest Federal Credit Union was invested in my future and the success of this business. When I tell you I'm a loyal client, it doesn't even begin to say it.
This is my legacy.
A legacy is earned with generations of proven reliability, standing tall through the test of time, leading, innovating to build the best vehicles with the best value. Because the greatest memories begin with the journey.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back into Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. We're out here on the sidelines of MetLife Stadium, where the Commanders are getting set for their second NFC matchup of the season. The Commanders often has been putting up some numbers this season, so let's dive right into it. As we see our quarterbacks warming up, let's take a look at our Never Ordinary performers, presented by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And this week, our Never Ordinary performers are the offense in whole. This offense, led by offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury and quarterback Jayden Daniels, has been special to say the least. Watch, his offense currently ranks 3rd in the league for rushing yards per game, total yards per game, and points per game. Some never ordinary numbers for some never ordinary players. Now let's talk more about this offense with our play-by-play announcer, Bram Weinstein. Bram, looking good, brother. Got the kicks on. I feel like the radio crew trying to match us with the kicks. I don't know if y'all there just yet.
Like the gold swoosh? The gold swoosh today.
Hey, the gold swoosh spot.
We're feeling the ride, right? Like, yes, sir. We're in the middle of a special season.
Yes.
You got to dress up for it.
Yes, sir. Honestly, you should have brought a jacket out here. It's a little cold, but let's get right into it. Jayden Daniels continues to rack up accolade after accolade after accolade. Talk about our rookie quarterback.
He is having an unprecedented season.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's arguable. It's among the greatest seasons any rookie quarterback's ever had, period. Name the person who's had a better one. C.J. Stroud included last year had an unbelievable year. It's every week it's something new, and special things are happening to special players, and we had a special moment a week ago.
You've been a guy that covered this team for a long time.
Yes.
You know, everyone always try to compare with the RG3 year. I was a player that year, so I can't sit up here and give you my comparison because I was in the moment. What are you seeing that's similar or that doesn't compare, that's different?
So I think, obviously the comparison is they're both extraordinary athletes, right? But the difference here for me, and I don't think that they're comparable in this way at all, Jayden is so much far ahead of the curve as an accomplished passer coming into the league than Robert really was. No offense to Robert, who was just a remarkable athlete, track athlete. The speed, the difference too with the way that they run. Robert was a straight line track athlete speed. Jayden, when you watch him, it doesn't even look like he's going that fast. There's some kind of like flow to his game that almost feels basketball-ish, the way he kind of moves around and is juking people. I don't really see them as all that comparable other than very high-level athletic talents.
Gotcha.
How much fun are you having calling this? I know people have asked me, "Oh man, when they were losing, they say, oh man, it's easy to do a job like that." I said, "No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Tough. It's easy to do a job like you're doing now."
This is easy to do the job when it's like this. It's amazing. I have high expectations now. We're not we're in the middle of the year. We're not talking about next year. It's the first time in a long time that I feel like we're sitting there, we're living in the moment. There's things ahead of them. There's reporting out there saying players want to come here now. The trade deadline's coming up. I think there's some holes they could potentially fill. We're talking about the here, the now, the future. This is an unprecedented season that they're having with an unprecedented quarterback. I mean, this is the definition of fun.
Yes, it is. How quickly things change. Now, we got to talk this running game a little bit because we just announced Brian Robinson Jr. is inactive in today's game. How does that affect one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL?
So this is a big deal. Like, I felt all week this game's going to be close. Like, if you go watch the Giants up front, they're in every game they play. If I told you they were 500 with the way that they played this year, I don't think you'd be surprised by it. The trio that they have up front might be the best in football and the best that they have faced this year, with Lawrence leading the league in sacks, Ojulari with 5 over the last 4 games, and Brian Burns, who they're using up close to the edge. 3rd and long is a death sentence today for this team, which is why B-Rob is a big deal to not be out there. How do they divvy up the carries? That's what I want to see today. Is Chris Rodriguez going to get more opportunities than he's gotten? Is Jeremy McNichols going to get more carries than you might expect? And can they get the same 3 to 4 to 5 yard per carry range that they've been getting with B-Rob? When they get in 2nd and manageable, 3rd and short, Jayden's killing it. 3rd and 8 and longer against this defensive front, it's going to be trouble today.
And Bram, we're going to have your partner in crime join us in a second to talk about this offensive line. But before you go, what do you think this offensive line has to do to find success against what you said is a very, very tough defensive line?
I think you want to run the ball, control the clock here today. 3rd and long is a problem. I love Andrew Wiley. I think he's having a big bounce back year. Where he has problems is against speed rushers. Ojulari and Burns are going to be a problem if they get to pin their ears back and go at him. And then Jayden's going to have to shake and bake. Listen, he's still hurt. Remember that part of this thing. He's not 100%. I have felt this way all week. I think this game is close. B-Rob being out doesn't help, and I'm hoping the defense continues to step up, get Daniel Jones to make a couple mistakes, get the ball in the right hands, and we get out of Dodge with a win.
Yeah, and I think when we get inside the red zone, get touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
If we do that, and we score touchdowns today in the red zone, I don't think they close. Now, if they don't get them, it'll be a problem.
Bram, it's great to have you and your sneakers on the show. Now, somebody with considerably worse sneakers is Logan Paulson. We'll have him tag in right now.
Take a look at his guy. That's amazing.
We can't show him on air. Welcome again,
about your kicks,
Logan Paulson, our radio broadcast guy. You're going to be here on the sideline. First things first, we saw this team in week 2. But our team is considerably different now. Talk about that before we get into this offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even really the same team. I think when you look at the defensive side of the football specifically, just the way they're playing in the back end, how they've kind of bought into the system, right? The leverage they're playing in coverage, they know their responsibilities, the way they're communicating, I think the way they're rushing up front, just the cohesiveness on that side of the ball is significantly better. And the offense just gets better week on week because Jayden Daniels just keeps getting better.
How valuable is it, man, when you have coaching? You see good coaching going on it. You can have all the players in the world, but when you see good coaching, how valuable is that for a team?
I mean, I think it's invaluable, right? In the sense that, when you have a good teacher, someone who understands how to communicate and understands that I'm going to learn differently than you, right? And how to get that information to you, it's extremely important, and you see it because they've got all these different guys in the back end, all these different guys with different levels of experience, different levels of skill set, and they're improving each and every week in the system. That's great coaching. That's great teaching. It's maximizing talent.
All right, Logan, you're looking at Brian Robinson is not in this game today. He missed the game earlier this year, and the running game didn't look the same. Now that Cliff has a second chance to go out there without him, how do you think they have a form of attack for the running game?
Yeah, I think B-Rob's special. There's one reason we talk about him missing games because how special he really is, right? And what I mean by that is when you look at EPA per rush from our running backs, he is number 1 in the NFL.
Wow.
There's nobody better than him in terms of maximizing rushing efficiency. So we talked about this after the Baltimore game. When he's not in, Austin Eckler, McNichols do a great job, but they're not Brian Robinson. So for me, it's you talk about coaching, Tana. How does Cliff elevate those guys through the screen game, through those quick kind of dump-off passes to find favorable box counts so they can be the best running backs they can be?
And Logan, this is going to be our big game for our offensive line. We saw them warming up earlier. Now they are in the huddle. Can you talk about, we're halfway through the season, which is crazy to say. How impressed have you been with our offensive line so far?
Yeah, I mean, I've been very, very impressed. I think they're guys that are kind of maybe not individually the best, but when they come together, they're one kind of monstrous organism. They play physically, they play aggressively, they play smart, they play with the intensity that you want with that group. And I think you talked to, again, coaching. Cliff does a great job of calling a game to mitigate their exposure, which is exactly what you want to do.
And Dexter Lawrence, that's a monster on the other side. You've done a lot of film on him. What kind of challenges does he pose for this offensive line?
I mean, he might be the second best defensive player in the NFL right now. He might be. Like, that's how good he is. He's big, he's physical, he's fast, he understands how to get off the football, he understands how to attack the edges of the center, he understands how to attack the snap hand of the center, and he creates so much vertical push in the pocket. When you have guys like Azeez Ojulari and Brian Burns on the perimeter, he's just forcing the quarterback to back up into tremendous edge rushing pressure. So he is a problem, and I think the problem with him is that it's really easy to scheme up protections for perimeter guys. Chip help, slide help, all those different things. Inside, it's a little bit more challenging, so I really can't wait to see what Cliff does today with him.
And believe it or not, the New York Giants are actually pretty formidable against the pass.
Yes.
How can we get the pass going? We saw Jayden Daniels coming off of his highest passing yards per game in a game. How's he looking now?
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons they're great against the pass is because they're great at rushing the pass. So they have 35 sacks in the season. That's number one in the NFL. So for me, like, how do we protect? And protection's going to look very different. We're going to run keepers. We're going to run bootlegs. We're going to move the spot so they can't just tee off on the quarterback. And if we can do that, I'm very confident our skill position guys can get open versus this Giants secondary.
Well, I have two words for you. Tyler Biadasz.
Yeah.
He has played better against Dexter Lawrence than any other center in the league. So I think that may be a nullifier for him today.
To put it mildly, like if you got a matchup, styles make fights. Whatever he's doing seems to work against him, so let's keep that going.
Keep it going, Logan Paulson, we always appreciate you joining us. Are you even cold?
No, I'm great. I'm great right now.
The rest of us are freezing. Logan, thank you so much. We're going to let you get back to your job now. This time for the most rewarding odds, presented by Fanatics Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of the Washington Commanders. Please pay responsibly. If you need help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, here's a look at today's game day details from out in the Big Apple. Thank you, Logan Paulson. The Commanders kick off against the Giants at 1 p.m. from MetLife Stadium. You can catch the game on Fox or tune in to our Commanders radio crew of Logan Paulson, who you just heard from, London Fletcher, and Bram Weinstein on Big 100. Now for our game day odds. Washington is -4 with a money line of -210 and an over-under of 44.5. That's for odds for you. Now, let's take a quick commercial break. But after the break, when we come back, Santana and B-Miss share some players that they're excited to see in today's NFC East matchup. You won't want to miss who they've got. You're watching Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. We'll be right back from the cold.
Moments like this, you're faced with an important question. If a ball lands in a cup and no one else sees it, does it count? You bet your sweet 5-iron it does. Somewhere to smile about. Ocean City, Maryland. Oh wait, he's still going. Okay. Nice.
Breaking news and a surprise contender in the marathon.
Yes, Rachel, someone has caught up to the front. He's carrying a fridge.
Something remarkable has just happened. Talk about keeping your eye on the ball. What's happening courtside?
From half court, he got it! I can't believe what I'm seeing. Over to baseball. Richmond's gonna win.
There's no way. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Williamsburg is your home for the holidays. From fall foliage to winter wonderlands and everything in between, Williamsburg has it for less. Plan your affordable getaway today.
Attention football fans, are you ready to kick off the season with something special? Arthur Wheeler Spirits Company is opening a distillery and tasting lounge less than 15 minutes south of the Commanders in Northwest Stadium. And we are ready to be your go-to destination for all things spirits. Whether you're tailgating, hosting the ultimate game day party, or just enjoying a quality drink, Arthur Wheeler Spirits Company has you covered like the Commanders secondary. We've got the perfect lineup to keep your celebrations going strong.
VetTix secures unused event tickets to give back to the military and veteran community. The mission? To strengthen family bonds, build lifelong memories, and encourage service members and vets to stay engaged in their community. Giving out over 15 million tickets since 2008, VetTix continues to give something to those who gave. To find out how you can help give once-in-a-lifetime experiences to our veterans, service members, and their families, visit vettix.org today.
Welcome back into Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. Now, you know when you're in New York when you hear Big Papa on the airwaves there, Biggie playing it. Now, you know what, Santana, we're going to give you the mic this week since, you know what I'm saying, this used to be your old stomping grounds. You done had a play or two out here. Now, here's Tanner's exciting players to watch, presented by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Now, Tanner, your first exciting player to watch. Surprise, surprise. Jayden Daniels.
Yes. Now, you talking about exciting players. We can't mention exciting players without mentioning JD5. I think what you want me to talk about, his pinpoint accuracy or his dynamic athleticism, JD5, to me, has checked all the boxes. You throw something at him, he has the answers from. He's the most exciting player. That's why he had to be number one for me.
And how tough is it to be as exciting as last game, B-Mitch? You've had them games where you just come out and it seems like everything's going right for you. Jayden Daniels got some big shoes to fill in there as well.
He has some big shoes to fill. But the thing about him, he doesn't let that moment, he doesn't go out there to try to impress or try to beat another moment. He just want to do the right thing. And I think if he continues doing that, make the right play, he's going to keep being exciting.
And another rookie that's been exciting, Tanner, Johnny Newton.
Newsflash, Johnny Newton is here.
Jermander.
Hey, special alert, Johnny Newton is here. Man, look, the guy was so exciting last week. He had 7 pressures. The league forgot that one of those pressures was a sack.
Yeah.
They forgot to give him a sack, man. I mean, we had him on the Players Club, and the first thing he said, if you're not ready to play in this league, then you shouldn't be here. And he's showing that week in and week out. He's got his opportunity now, and he's showing you just why he was so out to be one of the first-round draft picks, but failed in the second round because of a foot injury. Johnny Newton is here to stay, man. I can't wait to see him play.
Johnny Newton is special. You know, Tanner, I watched him last week, man. He was past the guy, and the center had to put his hand on the back of his shoulder. That's the play when you're talking about where he stopped the screen and then got the sack. That dude is quick. He plays kind of like, and I'm not trying to compare him, people, but I'm saying he plays just like Aaron Donald. He keeps doing that, man. The league is going to be saying, whoa, can't believe it.
And having one of the most exciting wide receivers ever to walk by us, Steve Smith Sr., is a little poetic that your last exciting player is no other than 1-7, Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin, man, what more can I say? I think one of the things that stand out to me is the way he played this game. The grit, the tenacity. Throw the ball up, the man comes down with it. This guy arguably is one of the best catchers of the football in this league right now today. He's sitting at number 4, not because he went out there and did his thing, but because they finally got the ball to him. His numbers is not his numbers just by chance or by luck. It's because you're throwing the ball at him. Terry McLaurin is excitement ready to happen. I'm so happy that he's finally getting his fair share of targets. That's why Terry McLaurin, I could easily put him up at number 1, but we had Jayden Daniels, but he's my third exciting player
and he's
to watch.
ultra competitive. You know, Terry don't say a lot, but when someone says something to him, he works with his action. He comes out on the field and he destroys people. So I hope one of these Giants defensive backs,
get him mad, please,
make him mad, and he will show you what it's all about.
And fellas, I got to add to the list. One guy I'm super excited to see is our new guy, Jalyn Holmes. He got himself a sack against the Chicago Bears, which was his former team. I got to catch up with him on the Next Man Up podcast, so let's check that out now. It's time for Best Seat in the House, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Let's hear from Mr. Jalyn Holmes. And I love that. And talking about your family a little more. You said he grew up in that NFC East type family where they all got different fans everywhere.
Yeah.
So playing the Giants this Sunday, we're going to be in New York City. Will that game mean a little more because you understand how heavy this NFC East rivalry stuff goes?
I actually was I was with the Giants for maybe 3-4 months from OTAs to camp. I was with the Giants, and
so a little more to prove this Sunday.
It's like another game, right?
Yes,
so my grandmother is a Giants fan. She grew up one her whole life, so it's definitely some bragging rights within the family. Like I said, my grandfather, he's sadly Cowboys fan. But he gonna love to see us beat down on the Giants. So
yes, sir.
I definitely understand the rivalries that come with this conference, this division. I'm sorry. So I'm ready to go out there and prove what we gotta do.
It's nice to know that you're gonna have Eagles fans and Cowboys fans out there somewhere rooting for the burgundy and gold. Even if it's secretly, they're gonna be rooting for us.
Yeah, it's all good, and slowly, what I'm saying, we keep making this thing rolling. They'll do the right thing.
Always great to hear from Jalyn Holmes, man. What a great conversation. You can check our full interview on the Commanders YouTube page or stream it wherever you get your podcast. Now, when we come back, B-Mitch is dropping his big 3 keys to a Commanders dub. Look at that brother looking good in number 30. You ain't aged a bit, B-Mitch. You won't want to miss what's at the top of his list. That's all coming up on Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. Now, before we go, if you want to be in the stands for the rest of our home game this season, and why wouldn't you? The best way to make that happen is to get some season tickets because it's not too late. For more information on a package for the rest of this season and next season, head over to commanders.com/season tickets. Get the best seats at the best price. We're already halfway through the season. We'll be right back, Commanders family. You're watching Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get 4.9% financing for 60 months on Kicks.
Get to Nissan, proud partner of the Washington Commanders.
Hold on. New Bet365 customers get how much? That can't be right.
It's true. Join Bet365 today and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5. You could spend them on bets like the spread, run line, totals, and player props.
Well, there you have it. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It was like the entire team at Northwest Federal Credit Union was invested in my future and the success of this business. When I tell you I'm a loyal client, it doesn't even begin to say it.
Love this? Then you'll really like this. Because it leads to this. While this leads to this. This and this. 100% verified NFL tickets only from Ticketmaster. Take it to the house every time. Ticketmaster, official marketplace of the NFL.
That 808, can you feel that BASS bass?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get 4.9% financing for 60 months on Kicks.
Get to Nissan, proud partner of the Washington Commanders.
Is my head really that shape? Probably just impressionism. Wait, is he a genius? Should we start saving for art school?
When your questions about life turn into questions about money, there's Erica, the virtual financial assistant to help you spend, save, and plan smarter. Only from Bank of America. What would you like the power to do?
Welcome back into Command Center Game Day Live presented by SeatGeek. We are just moments away from kickoff here at MetLife Stadium. You see the fans is in the building. She was holding the Jayden Daniels sign, but she like she having some issues right now trying to find her seat. But you know what? It's time.
It's time for B. Mitchell's Big Three presented by Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly.
All right, B-Mitch, for your big three. The first one is win the trench battle on both sides of the ball.
Well, everybody knew I was a quarterback, and I love running the football, but you know what? I know games are won in the trenches. And we look at our offensive line, they played very well all year, and on the defensive side, they've been doing the same thing. You win in the trenches, you win the football game. I believe Tyler Biadasz and also Johnny Newton has to lead the way today.
Block, protect the quarterback, open the lanes up for the run game, get out to their quarterback, get turnovers. That's how you win in the trenches.
And B-Mitch, you channeled your inner Tanner.
Yeah.
This next one, win the turnover
You
battle.
already know. You have to do that. You know, the whole thing about it, you have the ball. See ball, get ball.
Yeah.
And you know, Joe Witt talks about it all the time. Ball is life. You have to protect it when you have it on offense, and on defense, you want to take it. Yeah. Because if you want to keep living, you got to have life. And you got to take that football because it's all about life.
I believe right now it's either 5 or 7 games straight we've had a turnover. If we could keep trending in that direction, that's how you win ball games. Last week, that game was won because of that turnover of them about to get ready to score. Remember, they fumbled the ball. That's how you do it.
And your last one, B-Mitch, scoring in the red zone. You talked about it a little earlier. How important is it to find that end zone?
Well, it's very important. I think the thing about it, we've been scoring a lot from outside the red zone, but we've had some games where we had to kick field goals.
Yeah.
And we saw last week it came down to a miraculous play at the end because we were not getting touchdowns. If we had gotten a touchdown early in that game is over. And they don't even come back to have a chance to take the lead. But ultimately today, when we get in the red zone, we have to do that by not making dumb mistakes.
Yeah.
We've gotten into the red zone. We're on the 5-yard line. We get penalty, we back beyond the 20. You're trying, and all of a sudden now your playbook is limited. So we got to be able to make sure we can go into our playbook and use everything in it and then make things easier. We have an offense that teams don't want to see. And when we limit our plays, we kind of play into their hands. But we can use the whole playbook. We can go out there and do whatever we want to do, but we got to get touchdowns in the red zone.
We don't have a problem with scoring. We can score in the red zone. We have a problem with self-inflicting problems causing us not to score. So correct that, and we should see a lot of points.
Now, fellas, usually at this part of the show, I ask you how y'all feeling, but I know how y'all feeling. We are all cold, so we are going to get up out of here, but don't you worry. We'll be back for Command Center. Montana already could have had to. We'll be back for Command Center post-game live right here from the field, giving you instant analysis and coach sound. For Brian Colbert Jr., Santana Moss, Brian Mitchell, Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. We out of here. Let's get this win.